Friends, today we are having our 7th DCC photo webinar. More to come. And today we have got our special guest, who is the Padma Shri awarded, Sri Anup Shah from Uttarakhand. And he is the man who knows the almost every peak, including Nanda Devi, Panchachuli, etc., in the Uttarakhand very well. And he has taken the lead to lead a team of people to reach the peak of so many mountains in Uttarakhand. Now I'll request our secretary, Sri Arun Kumar Banerjee, to welcome him and introduce him with all the participants. Arun
Thank
Kumar
you, sir.
Banerjee.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Good evening to all the photography lovers for joining us here today in our 7th webinar under the title Meet the Masters, organized by Dhamdar Camera Club. We are pleased to welcome those of you who have been with us for last few months, as well as those of you who are new to our DCC webinar. Just before we get started, I would like to express my gratitude and my heartiest welcome to our distinguished speaker of the webinar today, Padma Shri Sir Anup Shah, who is well known worldwide as a great nature photographer, environmentalist, and floriculturist. In today's webinar, Sir Anup Shah is going to show us one of his best presentation, which is prepared based on natural and cultural heritage of Uttarakhand Himalaya. Though we will know him in a better way through his conversation with Sir Mukesh Srivastava, President DCC, but I would like to highlight some of his great achievement in the field of photography. Mr. Anup Shah sir is having the honors of AIIPC, FICS, honors FSOF, honors FSAP, honors FA, PA, and etc. He is from Nainital, Uttarakhand. He conferred Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian honor of country, on 26th January 2019 in the field of art photography by the President of India. He was awarded first international honor AIIPC in 1994 by India International Photographic Council, IIPC Platinum grade awarded in 1997. In 2002, IIPC Diamond grading was awarded to him, which previously only 3 photographers had received this honor, Fellowship of Image Colleague Society USA FICS. He was selected as one of the top 10 photographers in the by IIPC in the year 1990, 1992 to 2001 continuously, and 2003 to 2005. It's a great achievement. He was selected among top 10 photographers in slide and print section of Federation of Indian Photography (FIP) in the year 1995. He contributed as a jury member to judge various international and national recognized photography salon and exhibition. Friends, there is so many, and it will take another half an hour if we go to describe all his achievement in this today's webinar. So let us welcome him, and I will request Sir Mukesh Srivastava to carry on the webinar. Thank you.
Anup sir, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Actually, I would like to ask him a few questions to make the webinar more lively, so that all the participants should know his experience of his life as art photography, as well as mountaineering also. So, Anup sir, you led mountaineering expedition to Nanda Devi, Panchachuli, and 6 other peaks in Uttarakhand. Will you please share your most challenging moment during the expedition?
Actually, in every expedition, you face some challenge,
Yes.
and it's very difficult to define one. But I can say during my Nanda Devi expedition, Indo-Japanese Nanda Devi expedition, Nanda Devi peak is in the center, and there is a ring of mountains. That's average height is 20,000 feet. So entering inside the ring, it's very difficult. So Nanda Devi sanctuary, it took us almost 10 days to enter in this sanctuary, and itself is a very tough expedition. Climbing Nanda Devi, I think few people died, but on way there are so many casualties because there are drops 6,000, 7,000 feet. So you will be happy that I have been 4 times to the inner sanctuary and attempted Nanda Devi peak with the Japanese. And we have picked almost 3-kilometer long rope in the north face. That was among the very difficult phase, and few member left the expedition due to this hardship, but I continued till last portion. And during that expedition, we face a very big avalanche also, and our loads and tents, they all fly away due to the wind blast. And anyway, we were able to survive on that avalanche. And that was my experience.
Very true, Anup sir. Taking to the mountain is not an easy work, and you have taken so many expeditions with all full of challenges now. Hats off to you, sir. Even at the age of 71 plus, I think you are still doing some trekking in the mountain, on the mountains around Uttarakhand. Can you describe any of your recent trips?
Actually, 2 years back, with Threes Kapoor, and we crossed a very challenging pass from Harsil. We entered into the Lamkhaga Pass, and it was almost 15 days trek, and we crossed around 17,800 feet pass and enter in the Himachal Pradesh Chutkul area. So that was very challenging. Past some ITBP people also perished there, and about a month back, one student also died during that pass. And we have to stay 3 days in Harsil because there is very heavy snowfall, and on the pass we get a lot of snow. By the help of ropes and all, we could manage to descend down. So that was our recent very challenging expedition. And this year, due to COVID, we couldn't go anywhere. I think maybe next year we will do some good adventure.
Thank you, sir, very much. One thing is very important for us to know, because even at the age of 71, you are keeping your fitness at a very high level.
Yes.
Can you share the secret of your fitness?
Actually, I'm a nature lover and early riser. So I usually go for long walks, say 5-6 kilometers every day. And that way I keep myself fit. And if you are in love with nature, you forget everything. you like flora, fauna, landscape, trees, Himalaya, and I think if you become a good photographer, you must love with nature. Then you will appreciate everything, and if you will notice everything, then you can take, I think, good photograph. And uh, good photographer must be early riser. I think this is,
Yes, yes, very
I
true.
have to say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm, first of all, I'm a nature lover, then I'm a mountaineer, then I'm a photographer. And I actually, I photograph nature and everything. And I also raise the issues, is something going wrong in the nature. So I raise alarm and inform our government also. And past Threes Kapoor and myself, we explore many unexplored area, and we showed the photographer to outer world also, like there are many valleys, Dharma, Vyas, Chodas in 70s actually no one goes there. So first time we brought photographs from that region.
Thank you, sir, very much. One thing, I had interaction with you face to face in Kosani a few years back, and the kind of simplicity you have within yourself, I think that is the result of your love with the nature. Because once a person loves the nature, he becomes very positive in thinking, and that whole reflection, whole you can say impact on the of the nature love is with you very much. And I think I can tell you very frankly, sir, I have never seen a simpler person than you. You are so simple, and actually we all around the country, we love you very much for your simplicity and your sincere efforts to do something new in Uttarakhand. Aman, are you here?
One thing I
Yeah,
want to add,
please carry on.
I started my photography career in 1964 when my father, late Sri Chandralal Satulgaria, he told me, you must go to Pindari Glacier, and he presented me Agfa Isoli camera at that time. And so in 1968, he formed Nainital Mountain Club in so early. So we have an opportunity to go to Har Himalaya time to time. And he encouraged me to take black and white, then slide. Also, I have a huge collection of slides in my past photography career. So I have to digitalize them. They are still
Yeah, yes, sir.
in boxes actually.
Yes. Aman, are you here? Aman, I think.
Yes,
Aman,
I'm here, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm here, sir.
yeah. I'm handing over to you to say something about Nikon products, because most of our members are Nikonians. Likewise, you can see Anil Ishal Singh ji
Right.
here, who is our Nikon expert, and me also ex Nikon mentor, and lot of
Right.
people are here using Nikon cameras. So your technical inputs will be very much helpful to all the participants here. Please carry on, Aman.
Sure. Firstly, I'll just share the screen. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And I hope it's visible.
Yes.
If by any chance my voice is lagging, or if the screen is lagging, please do
Yes, because of
let me know.
net connectivity.
Let me start with my introduction. My name is Aman Wilson. I head division. Yes. So I'll just start off again. My name is Aman Wilson. I head the technical division for Nikon India. And I've been with Nikon for the past 7+ years now. And it's been a great journey so far. I too am a photographer like all of you. And obviously I don't have as much experience as you, but I excel in the field of wildlife. So apart from shooting everything and teaching about everything, my main genre is wildlife. So just to start off with this association, thank you to DCC for collaborating with us and giving us this platform so that we can talk about what Nikon is offering to our customers. It's glad to know that most of you have been using Nikon products for ages, I would say even before I was born. So it's a great feat so far. And when we talk about Nikon, we have multiple products with us where we have, let me just, okay, yeah. So as you can see, the product lineup is vast. It starts off with DSLRs, Nikkor lenses, you have speedlight and accessories, you have sports optics, and you have Coolpixes. I'll talk about the new series also, which is the mirrorless series. But just to talk about it, for the past 100 years, Nikon completed 100 years in 2019. We have had a legacy of products with us, and that legacy was built on the F mount. And from the time the first camera came out in 1959 to the latest camera in 2019-20 also, the mount did not change. And due to which there's a very big loyal fan base for Nikon cameras, and you can use any lens on any camera. And with time, the technology has been advancing, and we have been providing various options to all our customers out there. Then when we talk about lenses, we have again an array of lenses where you can choose from lens. If you are a wildlife photographer or objective photographer, we have a solution for each and every one out there. Talking about the speed light and accessories, again, those things are available. If you want to trigger your cameras remotely, you want to transfer your images in today's time via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so that's available. Moving on from there, we've got sports optics also, where you can have field scopes, and you have a system where you can use the digiscoping mechanism in order to maximize your reach for research purpose, for surveillance purpose and all. And then for our enthusiasts, we still have the Coolpix series, where you can start off from a very small camera and go all the way up to P1000, which is about 3000 zoom, which is available. So there's a whole array of cameras and lenses available. But with the advancement coming up and new technology coming up, we came in to a different segment, which was the mirrorless segment. And when we talk about the mirrorless cameras, we brought in the mirrorless cameras because the market is shifting, and there are new things which we want to do. The camera systems are becoming faster. The autofocusing is becoming different. And that's where Nikon introduced the mirrorless cameras as per what were the requirements from the market. Now, when we talk about, keep it small and simple, there are a couple of things which you need to know. The mirrorless camera, obviously the mirror mechanism is not there. And we introduced the Z6 and the Z7 primarily. And then we brought in a DX camera as well. Here itself, in the second half of the year, we brought in the newer cameras. That's the Z6 II and the Z7 II. Now here also, taking the Nikon legacy forward, we made sure that the mount hasn't changed. Though the mount size is different from the F mount. This is known as the Z mount. Z is the alphabet given because it's the last alphabet in the order, and there is nothing more than Z. So basically it's the best out there. So that's where the Z comes in. And again, it's the 55 mm is the diameter of that mount size, which allows a lot of light. And since the mirror is not there, the flange distance, the distance between the sensor and the mount is the shortest in the market, which is at 16 mm, due to which not only your focusing capabilities increase tremendously, but also your low light performance, your sharpness all across your pictures changes. And all these things really help you as a photographer as well as a videographer. Nikon has always been known as a great camera for photographers, but there's an irony, though Nikon was the first to introduce the video in the DSLR segment with the D90, but after that we sort of lost our way. But with the mirrorless series, we came in back with the movies and with the filmmaking options in the cameras, and they are being accepted all over. A lot of filmmakers, a lot of music artists, everybody is trying to use these cameras for that. And the focusing has been improved tremendously, moving on from the DSLRs, coming on to the mirrorless Z6, Z7, and now onto the secondary upgraded models to the Z6 II and the Z7 II. So all these advancements are out there for all our customers. And again, you can use it for any purpose available. The Z6 is about 24 point, the Z6 II, I would say, is the 24.5 megapixel camera, and the Z7 is the 45.7 megapixel camera, where you can choose it as per your need. And again, I wouldn't take much time. I know that more than the camera, the photographer is important, but yes, the equipment also plays a vital role. And that's where we need to understand what type of a system should we rely on. Another good part, what I would say, is the interface. The interface hasn't changed. Whatever you've been using for ages, like on the DSLR system, it's more or less the same. And there's very little of transition which is there. So you won't take much time to get familiar with the newer cameras. And that's what Nikon brings to the table. And there's, again, plenty of lenses also available in the Z series. We've got about now 20 lenses, and more lenses are coming up. Whatever lenses are required for day-to-day purposes, which is more to do with the wedding segment or with filmmaking segment, the 35, 50, 85, all these lenses are available. And you can do a lot of with these lenses. So like I said, wouldn't take much time on this. That will be from my end. And if you guys have any questions related to the mirrorless cameras or any technical specifications, you can always get in touch with me here also, or you can get in touch with Nikon. You can go onto the website nikon.co.in and check it out, or you can connect with me personally also. I'm sure Mukesh-san will share the details later on. So if anyone has any queries, please do let me know. So Mukesh-san, over to you. Thank you for this time.
Aman, one thing, can you share a few slides from the beginning? Because I have missed something to just initial 2-3 slides. Can you share it again?
Yeah, sure. Just one second. Basically, this was the slide where we were talking about the product lineup, sir.
Before this, the first one with Z6, I think, camera. Yes, this one. Wait.
This one?
Yes, wait.
Okay, all right. So if anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me.
And next slide. Next one, product range.
Here you go, sir.
Yeah. Friends, feel free to ask any questions, any technical questions, not about only a mirrorless camera, about any Nikon product. Because I know Aman very well, he's technically very strong. He can clear your doubts here only.
Aman, is there any advantage of mirrorless over the mirrored DSLRs apart from the weight?
कॉल कर लूं ठीक है
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, sir, there is a lot of advantage. Let me just highlight a few ones. Is firstly, because the mirror mechanism has been removed, the first thing which affects your camera is the autofocusing system. Since your lens comes much more closer to your sensor, the autofocusing improves tremendously. What you were having previously in the videos, now the focusing is much more stronger, much more faster. You can actually control the focusing speed, the transition speed between two subjects also using the camera. So that is something which is there. Apart from that, when we talk about the sharpness of a picture, so the resolving power of the lens increases since, again, the flange distance is reduced. Now, due to which the image is not only sharp at the center, but also at the corner. So the overall sharpness of the image is there. Then because the flange distance has reduced, you can go much more closer to the subject in order to take a picture. Now, imagine you're taking a picture let me just say a random thought is there. You're trying to take a picture of a bride and you're trying to highlight some jewelry part or something or the other, and by mistake you have not carried your macro lens. What you can do is you can actually get in much more closer and then take a picture, because basically your close focusing distance is furthermore reduced when you use a mirror with a mirrorless body. Then the bokeh, the background blur, that also is one stop better.
Sukanto, please wait, Aman.
તો ત્યાં શેર નહીં જવાતું અમેરિકામાં સેટ 6 મહિના જ રહેવું પડે ને 6 મહિના પાછું કેમ 6 મહિના તો શું કમાઈ 10 વર્ષનો વિઝા છે ને એટલે 6 મહિના તો આવા જવાના છે તો બહુ ટ્રાય કરી બિચારા 3 લાખ તો આવા જવાના છે નાસિન છોકરા એમને જતો રહ્યો બધું સેટ થઈ ગયું.
Oh my God, who is there? I am not able to catch him.
10 વર્ષનો વિઝા હોય.
Can you just mute everybody?
Yes. Now I'm unmuting one by one. Yes, Aman, carry on.
Yeah, so I hope whosoever asked me that question, I was able to answer you. If you have still more doubts, you can please feel free to ask.
Any more questions from the participants?
Another question was, sir, that in Z6 and Z7, there is a difference in a megapixel.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to do a night photography, start with, or a very dark photography, which will be better? The higher the pixel or
Sir,
the lower?
what are you shooting, sir? What are you shooting, sir?
Well, astrophotography, for example.
Right. So, for example, if you're shooting astrophotography, let's say if you're shooting Milky Way, then irrespective of the camera, you can go for any one of them again, because when you're doing a Milky Way, you will have to boost up your ISO. So the ISO performance on both the cameras is better. Yes, on the Z6, since it's the 24 megapixels, it'll be a tad bit better because the megapixels is less, so the ISO performance will be better. That's there. But when we talk about star trails, if you're example shooting in, so again, it won't really matter whichever one you want. I generally shoot it with the Z7 when it comes to astrophotography, because it gives me a much more better dynamic range along with more megapixels in order to zoom in the shot or maximize the shot for printing purpose.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Aman. Thanks very much. Aman, one thing, I will take this opportunity to thank Nikon India to be equipment partner with us, and we are very happy. And today we'll be presenting around 8:30 after his presentation is over. We will be presenting G5 kit to Padma Shri Anup Saji along with a Nikon jacket. So this is the first great achievement for Dhanbad Camera Club with the help of Nikon India, and we are really very much thankful to Nikon, to Aman also. Abhishek Singh ji, are you here? Abhishek Singh?
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir. Good evening.
Meet Abhishek Singh. He is our head of sales in Jharkhand state. So for any of your problems, either you want to get your camera or lenses serviced, you can contact him, and you will get his number in DCC photo webinar group as well. You can also get the number of Aman Wilson in the CC Photo Webinar group. You can chat in the WhatsApp and get your problem solved. So now we'll move ahead. Now that we are sweating to see the mountains, nature's culture of, you can say, Uttarakhand, from our Padma Shri awarded Sri Anup Shah ji. Anup Shah sir, please carry on, share your screen.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's visible.
Today's my topic is natural and cultural heritage of Uttarakhand. Actually, I have been to many places in India and abroad, but this time I have confined my slideshow to our state, Uttarakhand. It has, as you know, great diversity, and our Himalayan range, you will be surprised, it's around 270 kilometers long. Garhwal to Kumaon, it's almost 270 kilometers long. And area from Nainital, the Himalayas aerial distance is around 100 kilometers. And Nanda Devi is the highest peak of our range. It's 7816 meter or 25645 feet. And Kamet is the second highest, 77560 feet. And our total population is 1.1 crore. It's around 11 millions. And total land area is 53,483 square kilometer. And our forest cover is very rich. And we have, foothill, then lower Himalaya, higher Himalaya, then alpine zone. So we have a great diversity. In 1,000 meters, you will find different vegetation, different wildlife, different people, and every scenario gets changed. So in this presentation, I will start my presentation. This is the Himalayan range. It's almost 270 kilometers long. And in the center, this is the goddess Nanda Devi. And there are many peaks, Nanda Bhanar, Nanda Labak, Nanda Khani, Nanda Ghumti, in the name of goddess Nanda Devi. And this one I have taken in early morning, and Nanda Devi, left peak is Nanda Devi, then Nanda Devi East, then Nanda Khat. In depression there is Pindari, then Changuch and Nanda Kot Peak. Actually, when there are clouds, then you get very good landscape. Without cloud, it's not so attractive. And early morning and late evening, you get good sun rays. This is the morning time. And this is after, sun rays has, later on you get such view. And there is blizzard, I think, then clouds is moving, that time was moving very fast. I have taken many pictures in this sequence. And left one is again Trishul Peak. It's a very attractive peak of our area. And as I have told you, Nanda Devi is the highest peak of our region. And it's one of the most beautiful peak of this region. And the entire peak is circled with a ring. That's average height is 20,000 feet. And to reach inside Nanda Devi sanctuary, it took us almost 53 years to Sifton and Tillman. They first climbed Nanda Devi in 1950s. This is the Nanda Devi from Inner Sanctuary. I have taken this picture in 1977 with slide film. This is digitalized, and the direct face which you are seeing, we attempted this face while climbing Nanda Devi, and this is late evening shot. This is again Nanda Devi from Milam Valley. From every valleys you get different shot. This is again sunrise, first rays are there. This is from Milam Valley. Then another peak, Trishul Peak. And that picture I have taken from Sitla Khet. As I have told you earlier, if there are clouds, you get very good pictures. This is also first rays is touching Trishul Peak, and the right one is Mektuli Peak. And you will be happy, you will be surprised to note we have almost 16 peaks above 7,000 meters in this range. And I think as I have told you, Nanda Devi is the highest peak. This is Trishul Peak. Again, early morning, and first rays is just touching Trishul. And there is, you can see three tridents also in Trishul Peak. And this is also a morning scene. You get rarely such scenes, and clear weather hardly get 1 or 3 times in the year. It's very difficult. Otherwise, sometimes it's dusty, and sometimes you don't get good clouds. So rarely you get such scene. This is Sibling Peak from Nandanvan. You may have heard about Gangotri region. So from there, I have taken this picture. And first rays is touching Sibling Peak. Then evening time, I have taken this picture from there. And about, say, half an hour earlier, it was hailstorm, and there was no visibility. All of a sudden, the cloud disappeared, and I got this scene. This is Sibling again in daytime. So every moment, every few moments, you get different scenes. This is Bhagirathi, where Ganga emerges, and this is also a daytime picture, but you can even see the moon is also there, because the sky is always very clear. This is again morning picture of Nandakot. It's one of the most beautiful peak of our region. And this is Panchuli peak from Munshari. Actually, it's a sunset time. Usually in sunset time, you get whole peak lit with the sun rays. In lower portion, you can see the snow color when the sun rays disappears, so natural colors come this way. So this is from Munshari. And in winter time, you get much clearer weather, and red color also appears in the winter. This is Panchuli. I think they have peak number 3 and 4. This is from, I think, telephoto lens from Munshari in cloudy weather. And this is again Panchuli peak number 2. In Panchuli group of peak, there is 5 peaks, and peak number 2 is the highest peak. And I have taken this picture in, I think, springtime. The new leaves are also appearing in these branches. And early morning when there is no sun rays, and in the early morning you get valleys with full of dust in the morning hours, and later on the scenario changes. You get, if there is sun rays, you get red color also sometime. So in every moment the color changes very rapidly. This is Munshiari village in Munshiari, and Panchuli Peak is just behind. And this hay stock is for cattle. They have stored for, during snowfall, they use these grasses for their cattle. And this is Munshiari, a very beautiful village. And another valley, I think Dharma Valley is one of the most beautiful valleys of our region. And we are just behind to, I have shown you earlier, Panchuli Peaks. We are just behind this time in Dharma Valley. In summers, the sheep grazers goes to these pastures, and sometime you will find more than 1 million goats over there. And there are beautiful meadows, valleys. We have attended this Panchuli Peak in 1970. We have been to this area. That time there was very few villages. And that actually Dharma Valley pass, there is 3-day treks. Now you can go in single day. ITBP and army people, they have built up roads. Now only one day you can reach up to this Panchuli base camp. From Dharchula, one day from Kathgodam to Dharchula, 1 day bus journey. Then another day you can reach up to this height. But if you'll quickly reach that point, there may be acclimatization problem. I have taken this picture with wide angle. The cloud formation was very beautiful. These are two valleys, Jolingkong or Chota Kailash. This is on way to Kailash Mansarovar, and lower view is from Sitala Khet, and a village house and entire range from Sitala Khet. And that area is a district in district Almora. That area is very beautiful. You must visit sometime to that area. This is Pindari Glacier. You may have heard about Trails Pass. In the head of Pindari Glacier, there is a trail pass, and you will be surprised. In past 53 years, no one crossed this pass, because the glacier has a lot of crevasses and seracs, and many people died while crossing this glacier. So we took a left route through the rocky side and crossed this pass after a gap of 53 years. That was our great achievement, and it was noticed by all over photography magazine in the world. And this is the upper catchment of Pindari Glacier. And this is very scary. There are a lot of crevasses. We have almost 10 porters. They all abandoned. They says we can't take risks. It's very challenging. I think we were in October first week, and temperature sometime -15 also. And I have only one camera, Nikon F3, with single. I have to throw all my other lenses plus tripod, because you can't carry. All porters were abandoned. We have to carry our luggage. We have to carry our tentage. We have to carry our food, our sleeping bag, everything. So that was a very hard time. Even we have to throw our aluminum ladder. So it was very difficult to cross. Sometimes we have to descend in the crevasses to overcome this difficulty. And this is all like battlefield. There are a lot of crevasses. He is probing the crevasses with ice axe, and another person is belaying that man. And one and two occasions such mishap happens. First man fell in the crevasses, but second man was alert. He arrested the fall. So it was very challenging. This is our camp just below Trails Pass, that due to, strong wind, the snow can't stay there due to strong winds. If you will reach here around 12, the wind was so strong you can't stand there. It will आपको उड़ा देगी wind. And this is our final camp to Trails Pass. And from same camp, when I get up early in the morning, I find this beautiful sunrise on the Nanda Devi peak. Left one is Nanda Devi main, and right one is Nanda Devi East peak. We are on, our club, Nainital Mountain Club members are on Trails Pass. In 1994, after a gap of 53 years, we were there. We have found no traces of human being over there. And this is the Trails Pass. And this ridge leads to Nanda Devi peak. And this is the outer sanctuary wall. And just here, this famous long staff call, then Nanda Devi East, and then Nanda Devi main peak. You can't descend from this direction. Only from Lata and Reni, there's the only way where you can reach Nanda Devi sanctuary. If you are entering Nanda Devi sanctuary, you require 10-day trek, and sometime 10,000, 9,000 feet direct fall on the way. So you have to fix rope in many places. And it's very difficult to reach inside sanctuary. Now we have descended down to Lawan Valley, and this is the, you can see the glacier, and our camp was also in very risky. It took us almost, I think by 8 we have started descending, and by 8 in the night we reached this place, and hurriedly we set up our camp, and next day we proceeded down. And now we are down below. Now you can see Nanda Devi peak is just above our camp. And from here we reached Lawan Valley, then Martoli, then Munsiari. That was our entire trek. This is another, our expedition, Indo-Japanese Nanda Devi expedition. This is our camp 2 at 21,000 feet. And front, you can see the Devisthan peak. In 1974, we climbed these peaks. Devisthan 1 peak, we climbed in 1974. This is our camp. There is almost 7,000 feet direct drop from our camp. If you want to go toilet, you have to tie a rope, then you can go for toilet and other thing. It was very risky. And one of our Japanese member got hurt due to stone fall. This is another route to Khingar Pass. It's from Milam. You have to cross 3 passes, Utadhura, Jayantudhura, and Lapthal. The 3 passes you have to reach. This is earlier trade route by Johar Valley people. And now the rocks you can see in my background. This is the one time there was a big sea, Tethys Sea, you may have heard the name. And when Asian plate and Tibetan plate collided, that portion emerges, and now it's converted into rock. And you will find a lot of evidence like marine fossils, mollusks, also. There are a lot of, I brought many fossils from this region. And from here, we descended to Malari and then Joshimath area, from Milam side to our Kumaon side to Garhwal side. It's a very beautiful trek, but very difficult, not so easy. And in this Nandanvan, again, that sibling peak is in the background, and our camp is just in front of there. And left side is, I think, Kedarnath peak, Kedarnath and Kedarnath Dome peak, left one. And you may have about Himalayas are sinking very, and this is the due to this glacier has sinked, and there is a pool, glacial pool was formed, and sometime it happens due to global warming. Snow is melting very fast. This is also a this portion also sinked, and there is a big crevasse, and you can see the ice also, and we are traversing through left side. And if you are returned after say 15-20 days, you may be not able to find your previous pathway, so you have to make new route every time. So I must say that I have been to this region in, I think, first time in 1970, and now Gomukh area and that area, that is almost sink a kilometer. It's very rapidly sinking. And this is Satopant peak. This is the most beautiful peak of this region. And many expedition has Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. They took their trainees to climb this peak several times. And this is Setagal. Actually, we also crossed a pass known as Kalindi Khal Pass. And in this, Dr. Sekhar Pathak, also a keen trekker, Pradeep Pandey, we were three person, and we are crossing the pass. Due to the heavy snowfall, we have to face heavy snowfall, and in single day, I think morning we have started, this is the pass actually, this is the 19,500 feet pass, and we face very bad weather. And when another team was also there, and we are in a snow blizzard, you can see, I have got 2 cameras, but due to the bad weather, I couldn't open my cameras. So I have a small video camera in my pocket. So from that camera, I took a few still photographs and few videos also. In Epic channel, Tom Alter has given the commentary to that entire episode. 2 of our team members were died due to cold, and 4 members to another expedition. So that day, around 6 casualties were there. And anyhow, we managed almost 5 hours. We were in a cave and warming ourselves. And anyhow, we saved our life. But many are unfortunately, 6 people, they died due to cold. This is the, again, whiteout. You can't see where you are moving. So it's very dangerous. It's heavy snowfall, and there is thick fog. And in this way, we have crossed this entire route. And we started morning at 6, and 8, we have reached a shelter, and up to 5 o'clock, we were doing exercise and doing all sort of shouts and all to keep us warm. So that's why we saved our life. Another on way to Lamkhaga Pass. As I have told you earlier, we crossed, Mr. Threes Kapoor was also with us. So we crossed another difficult pass. We are on way to Lamkhaga Pass. I'm showing you one or two slides. Actually, I have many slides. So it's not possible to show all the journey. This is a ski slope, and we are moving. The dots you can see in the, and that altitude is around 16,000 feet. It's very difficult. You have to move very slowly and very steadily. And actually, after say 15,000 and above, it's all willpower game. You get very much exhausted, but if you have a strong willpower, so you can overcome these hazards also. This is our camp at 16,000 feet. And now we are very approaching Lamkhaga Pass. You know that steep face you are seeing in front of us, that's Lamkhaga Pass. And if you will cross this pass, we will enter into the Himachal. Now we are in Uttarakhand, and after crossing this pass, we will be in Himachal area. And we cross this pass. Now we are crossing this ridge, and there were very loose boulders also, and hard ice also. It was quite risky, but I think in 2-3 hours we managed to cross this pass. Now we are on Lamkhaga Pass, and in front of us is Lamkhaga Peak also there. And from here we have to descend another side. Now we are descending to another side to Lamkhaga Pass. There was fresh snowfall, so we descended very carefully. Some places we have used ropes also. Threes is, I think, just in front. Threes Kapoor is there. We have to cross Baspa River that has got a lot of cold water. So if you will cross it single, then you will wash away. So early morning we have to cross such rivers, and that was also a great experience. And this is Dhauladhar range. Now we are in different range, Himachal area. Now I have added some winter photograph in fogs and all. This I have taken in Kausani, early morning. In starting, you get nothing, only fog. If you wait half an hour, 1 hour, then mist started disappearing as soon as the sun appears. So you get such drama in early morning. So you can see the houses and layers of ridges and fog. So early morning you get such views. And this is again a mountain village in I think in Chaudas Valley in district Pithoragarh. There are such so many villages. They have got very carving also. This is Khurpatal near Nainital. Again in rainy season, you get a lot of greenery and such landscape here. As I have told you earlier, that everything, you will not find anything, only fog, and gradually when sun appears, then you will find fields and everything. So it looks great experience. It's very interesting. This I have taken in Lohaghat, again in district Pithoragarh, and you see the Devdar trees reflection you can find in clouds, that reflecting in clouds. So it's a very rare phenomena I have captured from Lohaghat, early morning. This is from our side near Nainital. This is on way to Kilbari. This is Panchuli is in the background. This is morning in mountain village. This place is near Nainital. Now they have built up roads, motor roads over there. Now you can't get such scenes there. That entire village is spoiled. This is an old picture I have taken. I think from slide I have developed this one. Village Morning I have titled it, and it was awarded in several salons also. Then there are many such fields in our area. They are cutting their crops also. This is near Kosani, and they are plowing their fields, and there are such beautiful fields over there. And this is early morning in foggy morning from Sitla Khet. Then Nainital. You know, I live in Nainital and in Ayarpata Hill. My house is around 150 years old. You will be happy to note that my father purchased this house from Jim Corbett. I have still maintained this house. Unfortunately, I couldn't add my house photograph in this. So from our hill, I have taken this picture, Nainital Lake, and you know, water is very calm. And from highest peak, China Peak, you can see the reflection also. First rays is there. And in Twig also, you can find the snow. And early morning, you have to plan such sorts. And Nainital in different mood, I am showing you. This is from our hill, that one portion of Nainital town. This is Snowview Ridge. And from there, you get beautiful range in clear weather. And Nanda Devi, as you know, in center, this is Nanda Devi Peak. This is again from our hill, from Tiffin Top. This is the oldest college, St. Joseph's College. And Tarai area, there are many houses, and there in winter, sometime in winter clouds, you find only tip of mountains and all valleys disappears. So I titled it Floating Mountain, this picture. And this is again in autumn time, I have taken this picture in Nainital Lake. And you may find autumn color in leaves also. These are Populus nigra trees, the popular trees commonly known as. And yachting is a great activity of Nainital. If you will come here in September, October, you will find a lot of yacht races organized by our yacht club. And it was very colorful. And evening and morning, you get very beautiful light. And this is again yachting in the monsoon time. You get different view. And you know, in monsoon, there is sometime you see this flat area. It like hide and seek. Sometimes it disappears. Sometimes it appears. So you have, if you have patience, you will wait a good place. You can take good pictures on those days. This is again during spring time. I have taken this picture, and I have controlled the depth of field. Foreground and background both are in focus. And you know, late evening, you get very interesting light in our lake. And this is again in autumn evening. I have digitalized this slide actually, and there's some smoke. They are, I think, they are playing cards and they are doing something, and there is cigarette smoke is there. So I had a good opportunity in dying sun, and I could manage to take one picture, and then the sun disappeared. This only Deepavali this year, I think Deepavali around a week back, I have taken this picture from China Peak. You know, this is the highest point of 8,590 feet. From here in Diwali night, on dusk time, you get all details and this kind of landscape. And from same spot in snowfall, during snowfall, you get sometime fog or this kind type of views. It requires at least from our house, at least 2 hours to on foot you have to reach up to this place. And few flora of our region, flora and fauna of our region. This is this Sosoria species or Brahma Kamal. This is very auspicious flower. In every Devi Puja, they use this flower to worship God. And it is said if you have one this Brahma Kamal, evil spirit will not touch you. They will not come to your home. So it is belief of the local people. And rhododendrons, there are many rhododendrons forests in our region. April is the best month to photograph these rhododendrons. Kedarnath Peak is in the background. I have taken this picture from Chopta in April month. This is again rhododendron, different species, barbatum, is on way to Tungnath. And this is again Brahma Kamal. In, against light, it glows and it looks very beautiful. So I have taken this picture in against light. And this is the rhododendron forest, rhododendron barbatum in early morning. This is close-up of rhododendron flower in against light. Then if you will go much higher, I have last time I have shown you Dharma Valley. I have taken this picture above that hill, Dharma Valley, and there are two types of rhododendrons, rhododendron campanulatum and rhododendron arboreum, that is small bushes. And it has got very strong fragrance also. And they are gradually they become bushy form, small bushes in high altitude. And I think best time to capture these flowers is June month. June first week you get these flowers in full bloom. And if you will climb much higher, say above tree line, you get smallest rhododendron. This is rhododendron lepidotum. And there are actually many plants. I have more than 300, 400 flower photographs. So I am showing few of those. This is also very beautiful flower of primula. It grows in above tree line generally, in 12,000 and above, you will find this flower. And there are many medicinal plants also, many medicinal plants. This aconite, this one is a deadly poisonous plant, but in homeopathy, they make medicine, they dilute it and make many medicine from this plant. And it's very prized mushroom. If you will touch its root with your tongue, you may even paralyze or you may even die. It's very dangerous plant, but it has got medicinal value. And in our area, there are many mushrooms, wild mushroom. I know almost 12 to 15 varieties which are most edible. When we go to the higher mountain, we make one dish to mushroom. This Amanita, though Amanita group is very poisonous, one mushroom is called death cap. But this Amanita caesarea, this one is edible, though it's very colorful. And there are morel mushroom also. It costs around, say, 15,000 rupee a kg. It's very costly and collected from hill area. And this is Kira Jari and Cordyceps sinensis, Yarsa gumba. This is most prizes. It's a fungus, and lower portion you can see a caterpillar. It's a very prized mushroom. It has, I think, 99% cure of asthma. In world, there is no medicine for asthma, but it can cure asthma. Good tonic for kidney also. And these days, I have heard around 200 type of medicine people are using, and it's curing cancer also. And you know, in Japan, in curing cancer also, in 1997 or something, Chinese athlete won 7 gold medal in athletics, ladies and gents. They settled all world record also. So European countries then get alerted. So later on, they find that a compound known as Cordyceps sinensis, they harvest with this cordyceps, and it increases their performance. But in doping tests, there's no anything in doping test. And few rare bird. This is Satire Tragopan. It's very difficult to photograph, and very few photograph in wild. In our higher region, you will find this bird. But it generally lives in dense undergrowth, very rare to photograph. And another beautiful bird of our area is Monal pheasant. This is also very difficult to photograph, but you have to require great patience. You know, in our region, there are almost 750 Himalayan birds found in our Uttarakhand. And in our country, there are hardly 1,300 birds, more than 50% bird found in our state. So it's very famous for bird watchers. This is another snow partridge found in the snow, higher altitude in the snow. Another rare bird, this is Himalayan snowcock. And in my 40-50 years mountaineering career, I found 1 or 2 in single group. But in winter, one time I find it around 10-12 birds in single flock. And I may be able to take many photographs. That time Mr. S. Satish was also with me. I have to climb, you know, a hillock. But Satish says, I can't walk up to that place. You go and photograph this. So I may be able to photograph these snowcock. This is another rare bird, cheer pheasant. They found in sometime in groups, but they never come in the open. They hide in thick grasses and very difficult to locate and very rare to photograph. Now, presently, some people are using their call and taking their pictures, but I don't think this is a good practice. Another bird, this is a Coquelin's pheasant. This is also very handsome and beautiful bird of our area. And it's also found near Nainital also. And this is Assie wood pigeon. This is very rare. And I have an opportunity 2 years back in Chopta area, I could photograph this pigeon. And there is speckled wood pigeon. This is also very rare and found in the Chopta area. Steppe eagle, these days you will find in every valley, every mountain, these steppe eagle. They migrate here from Mongolia also, and in Kazakhstan flag, you will find this particular bird. It's largest eagle, I suppose. This is on steppe eagle on flight. I was in hillock. From there, I have taken this picture. This is another rare bird, mountain scoop owl, and there are few photographs in wild, and it is also found in Nainital and in Sitla Khet area. This is Eurasian jay, beautiful bird. Then Egyptian vulture. One time this bird is very common in our area, and now it's in a critically endangered species. Then another hill partridge, very difficult to photograph. Generally, it lives in the dense undergrowth. And then Rufous throated partridge. This also found in lower valleys below 5,000 feet and lives in thick undergrowth and very difficult to photograph. This is Chukar partridge. This is abundantly found in our Uttarakhand. Some people think that is found in Ladakh only, but in our lower valleys, you will find a lot of chakor present in sometime 50, 30, 40 groups in winters. This is Rufous-chinned laughing thrush, another beautiful bird of his area. This is gray-headed woodpecker. This is mountain hawk eagle. It can even kill big bird also, like pheasants, I have seen killing pheasants also. This is ibis bill, migrate from Siberia and Himalayan rivers. And in Ramnagar, they only 2 birds migrate these days, a pair of birds. For last 3-4 years or maybe 5 years, we are watching. Sometimes they are 2 and 3, and many people come to photograph this. Only winter time you will find these. And this is red-headed bullfinch, found in higher pastures, and winter time it's come up to lower altitude below tree line. So Chopta area, I have taken this picture. It's a beautiful bird. Then winter rain or Eurasian rain. This I have taken this bird. First time I have seen near Nainital and photographed this bird. And past I have also photographed this bird in Tibet also. But I was a bit surprised to see this bird in our area. This is red-headed vulture. These are one time very common. These are now actually endangered list. They are critically endangered list now. I have taken this picture in Ranikhet 2 years back. Now, few high-altitude animals. These are Himalayan thar, and in the backdrop there are rhododendron forest. This is female thar. This is male thar. Male thar has long hairs, and in winters they can survive in caves in altitude, and they accumulate a lot of fat in their body. This is another threatened species, musk deer. Musk is very costly, in millions of rupees. I think the musk sells in grams, I think. And male musk deer has got, two teeth also. And this is the most threatened species now. Lot of people pose this for his musk pod. blue sheep, and this is bharal or blue sheep, found in high altitude above tree line, and generally snow leopard generally eat this goat in high altitude in this sheep. And I have taken this picture at the height of 16,000 feet. Now in Corbett Park, this is spotted deer. One deer is guarding and other are drinking water. I like this picture very much. This tiger in Jim Corbett, mother and daughter. We have a very close encounter. This is again tiger in Ramganga river in Corbett Park. And there are many elephant in Corbett area. One time I have counted up to, I think, 160 elephant in single herd in, say, June, July. They come to open patch in Dhikala area. You know, we had a very narrow escape. This tusker charged us and it came hardly 5 feet of me, but I was very keen to take his picture in action and able to capture this in Corbett Park. And we were narrowly escaped. This is the very rare Tibetan wild dog. I have taken this picture first time in Uttarakhand at the height of 9,000 feet in district Pithoragarh near Narayan Swami Ashram. And there is no any evidence of taking wild dog in that altitude. And you can see its thick black tail also. And it was very healthy. But I find only one picture. This is the first picture of wild dog. This is a red flying squirrel. Generally, in the night, they get active, and they found in our hill around Nainital in good number. And another gray flying squirrel. First time I have photographed this gray flying squirrel in our area, and one Mr. Flemings from USA, he identified this. He says this is similar to the Kashmir flying squirrel, small flying squirrel, but its color is grayish, and Kashmir flying squirrel is slightly brownish. So it's first time reported, this one. And this is hardly 15-inch long, I think, and very rare. I have seen only thrice this flying squirrel. This is very yellow-throated martin, though it's very common, but it's sucking nectar. This study, I have first time seen that a carnivorous animal sucking honey from rhododendron. King cobra, you will be surprised. We have so far discovered around, I think, 26 nests in our region, past, say, 15 years. And one of my friend, he monitor each and every nest and take scientific data also. This is also but very rare and protected animal. So I have given him, my forest department has given him a special permission. So Mr. Jigu Dolia, he's doing great work. And I have also many videos and photographs of this. He can even handle, I actually reached very close to the nest and taken this camera with 2470 lens. And these are the young ones, 1 day old king cobra. And they have lot of poison. They can even kill one man. But big giant cobra can kill a elephant or around 20 human being I have found here around 90 feet long cobra photography. And in our hills area, there are step farming, and if you will come here, you will find such fields in our area, and it's beautiful to photograph these fields. And in Kausani, near Kausani, this is Someshwar Valley. There are very colorful fields. In winters, you get such scenes. These three ladies are returning from their fields. Luckily, I got this view. This is a high altitude house, and this lady is drying, meat. They can easily dry meat, goat meat over there in sun drying of meat. And there are many valleys, and there are beautiful houses. This is Urgam Valley, another beautiful valley in district Chamoli. I think their four grandfather, or maybe that house must be around 300 years old, but very rich carving. If you will roam in villages, you will find such many houses. But and in Munshiari area, there is a village called Darkot, and these are Kumauni ladies in traditional dress, and there are you will find such houses, beautiful houses. In Tibetan trade, there was a great prosperity, and that time they built those houses in olden days. Now they are, and if you will go much remote valleys on way to Kailas Mansarovar, the house must be 300, 400 years old. And the old lady is there. After reaching there is around 5-day trek. You will be surprised that lady reached there in, I think, horseback, or I don't know how they have brought, because old people love their villages. And if you have any interest, in 1980, I have one exhibition in India International Center, Wood Carving Tradition of Kumaon. So I have placed around 60, 70 wood carving photographs over there. We have 3 valleys, Vyas, Chaudas, and Dharma Valley. Every valley has got different wood carving. So one Mrs. Manju Kag, he has done PhD on this intact, given him some amount, but still there is a lot to do. And if you are keen, you can even come to those valleys and photograph these beautiful houses. This is another Kumbh, Haridwar Kumbh. They celebrate once in a 12 year. I have taken this picture around 12 years back. Now next year in, I think, April, May, March, April, we are again celebrating this Kumbh festival. And it's a great opportunity to our photographers to witness this great festival. And there are a lot of sadhus and other activities. So you can come here next year. I will convey you the exact date, and you can come to this, cover this festival. This is Nanda Devi Mela, Nainital. In hills, there are many festivals in Dasara, Nanda Devi, and so on. So you get, these are Nanda and Sunanda. After the goddess Nanda Devi peak, they celebrate this festival in Nainital. This is very picturesque. You can, even September, October month, they celebrate this festival. And this is another very interesting festival. This is a Devi Dhura Bhagwal in district Bageshwar. The 2 parties throw a stone in each other. And, olden days, there was human sacrifice. Now, one time a widower's only son has to sacrifice to his mother, tell the priest, please don't sacrifice. So now they throw stones, and 2 parties, and there was a lot of bloodshed. And this festival is on, I think, Raksha Bandhan Day. Every year they celebrate, and it's a very interesting festival. So you must sometime visit this festival. This is Kandali Utsav. You may have heard about Kandali festival. It's organizes once in a 12 year. And a flower known as Kandali flower, Echimenthera gossipena, that blooms in a gap of 12 years. So in that occasion, this festival was organized, Kandali Utsav, and there are many beautiful houses, beautiful ladies, and their, old dresses, jewelries, and all. So there is abundant color and very good opportunity for photographers. And you will be happy to note after 2023, around this is 2020, after 3 years, they will organize this festival in Chaudas Valley in district Chaudas Valley in district Pithoragarh. And in every village, they organize their own. So photographers have great opportunities. They invite guests also and provide them shelter, food also. So I have covered 3 such festival. I have around slides in thousands. So you must come and 2023 and cover this beautiful festival. And this is the same villages. There are old houses, as I have told you, in the Indo-Tibet trade, there was great prosperity, and there are such beautiful old houses are still there. This is a traditional lady in traditional dress during festive time. This is silver ornament is almost, I think, 4 or 5 kilo, very heavy silver ornament. This is the whole jewelry of Rang, called Rang Lady. And I have taken this picture during Kandali Utsav, during overcast day. These are Rang children. They are also in festive mood. This is my last slide. I think you must have enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.
Amazing images, sir. And I can say the number of images you have, not only for nature, but even for the culture of Uttarakhand is marvelous. And those rare birds you have captured.
Actually, many of my images, slide, I have converted into slide to you. So maybe the quality is not so much. So,
no, but again, those rare shots.
Yes, they are definitely they are very rare.
Yes.
And I invite you all photographer. I will guide them, and what will be the best time to visit our area. And our many valleys are virgin and unexplored villages, and there are a lot of village life. I couldn't add faces of villages and all. There are children with beautiful faces and all. So there is a great opportunity. And I'm photographing mountain for last 40, 50 years. So photographing outside. And as Sati is usually accompanied with me, sometime he says, when you are going, I will definitely come to India. And Threes is also one of the good photographer of our region. He is also, in our time, there is nobody takes pictures, but we have nobody is here to guide us. So we used to take our print to Delhi, and so all big photographers, and then we have learned composition and all. Gradually we came to this field. Yes, but as I have showed you, I only don't photograph. I raise the environmental issues and everything, and I am the member of the State Wildlife Advisory Committee also. So I know each and every wildlife and valleys of this region. Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच अनूप सर, मजा आ गया आज तो आपका सारा काम देख के। मेरे ख्याल से यू मस्ट बी हैविंग a few TV hard disks to store all those images.
Yes.
Now I think we can go for question and answers if anybody has got anything to ask from him, because he knows the Himalayas. And he has lived with the nature and the culture of Himalayas. So feel free to ask any question from him.
If I can say something.
Yeah, Brian.
Definitely.
Yes, your landscape photography, absolutely stunning, and the variety of wildlife. It surprised me, but for me, the atmospheric early morning shots in the Himalayas with the mist and the reflections coming through the pines, they are absolutely stunning.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful photographs, lovely image.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for appreciating.
Anybody else? Now, friends, before we go for vote of thanks, I will take this opportunity to present our today's guest with a Z5 mirrorless Nikon camera, full frame 24 megapixel, and a Nikon jacket. So, a big clap to Anup Shah sir ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I am just giving.
Thank you.
Just.
I am thankful to. I am thankful to Mr. Aman and Nikon people for presenting me this camera. As you know, in 80s, I have used Nikon F3 camera. I think last 30 years I used Nikon F3 camera, and I found it very, very good those days. And for wildlife, I still use 7200 D7200. Thank you.
Yes, Anup Shah ji, accept the camera.
Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Okay. Now the jacket.
Okay.
This is jacket for you. Jacket.
Thank you.
Okay.
At last, I thank Nikon people and especially Dhanbad Photography Club and for inviting me for this prestigious show. And I also thankful to Mukesh ji and Mr. Arun Banerjee. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you, sir. Thank you
once again.
Yeah. Now, SK Mitra, sir, are you here? Sanjeev Mitra?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll request you to give vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Just now we enjoyed the panoramic view of Himalayas through the lenses of Sri Anup Shah sir, who is also a Padma Shri awardee. Really, sir, it is a very great show. And the culture of Himalayas, at the same time, the Himalayan tracks, the flora, the fauna, and the culture, the birds, whatever you showed, it gave us a very good insight into the cultural and landscape of that particular part of the country. We will like that at least once in our lifetime, we will go there to visit those places, and you should be our guide. Sir, really, thanks a lot. My best regards to you. I also will like to thank Anil Lisa Singh sir, Sri Tanoj Singh sir, Trish Kapoor sir, Raj Misri sir, Ashok Karan sir, Ahmad Russell from Bangladesh, Aman Wilson from Nikon India, and Shiv Kumar Soni sir, Nirupam Shah sir, Satish sir, Brian Hooper sir, and so many others who made this August Assembly a grand success. Today, we had the second or the Samapan Samaro of Chhath festival. On the day one, we worship the setting sun, and today we worship the rising sun. On this occasion, Dhanbad Camera Club also organized a photo walk, and under the guidance of Mukesh sir, we went to the Chhath Ghat, had some pics, and had his guidance how to get it better and better. Thank you all for making this show a grand success, and a special thanks to Mukesh sir for organizing such a grand show. Thank you all. Good night.
Neha Sen, are you here? Neha Sen, are you here? Are you listening me? I think she is gone. Okay. So, Anup sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And thanks everybody to sparing time and enjoying such journey with nature. Akhil Hadia sir.
Hey, thank you Mukesh ji, and thank you Anup ji.
Hello, Hadia ji.
How are you? Fine, मैं पूरा देखा आपका, बहुत अच्छा लगा, मजा आ गया.
अखिल जी,
हाँ,
इस यात्रा की शुरुआत आप ही से हुई थी. और आज हम लोग सातवें मकाम पे हैं.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
पहला हस्ताक्षर आप ही का था.
ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आप ही ने दी, और बहुत अच्छे, मजा आ गया अनूप जी, बहुत अच्छा लगा.
थैंक यू अनूप शाह जी.
अनूप शाह जी धन्यवाद, बहुत सुंदर शो था आपका.
धन्यवाद.
Agarwal sir, are you here, sir?
I am very much here.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Anup sir. Thank you.
Anup ji.
Yeah.
It was a nice presentation.
अनूप जी, आपकी हिमालय की पिक्चर देख के मैं अभिभूत हो गया एकदम.
हाँ, धन्यवाद.
Very fantastic.
अपन साथ में चलेंगे आदित्य जी. आदित्य जी, अपन साथ में चलेंगे.
एक मिनट, हाँ जरूर चलेंगे. एक मिनट अनूप जी. आपकी हिमालय जितना ऊंचा है, आप उतने ही ज्यादा शांत है और सरल है. Very nice.
Okay.
Nice pictures. Very risky also.
अच्छा, और अखिल हरदिया जी ने एक बात कही है कि हम दोनों साथ चलेंगे अनूप जी के यहाँ.
बिल्कुल. हुट्टन कॉटेज बहुत दिनों से बुला रहा है.
अरे हमको छोड़ के कैसे जाते हैं आप लोग?
अरे सतीश
जी के बिना कैसा होगा?
आदित्य सर का कैमरा लेके.
सतीश आपको लेके चलेंगे. नहीं, हम सतीश के साथ चलेंगे.
बिल्कुल.
हर साल आ जाते हैं.
बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम था आज. बहुत अच्छा था. और
Thank you,
जी, excellent pictures, fantastic. Tomorrow flight I am taking to Nainital tomorrow morning.
Okay.
क्या बात है.
Yes, man, enjoyed lot. Anil sir, are you here, sir? I think he is not there. Anyway, so thanks everyone again, and now good night to everyone.
Good night.
We'll meet again next month, first fortnight.